I don't know what happened with this video, but the formatting is all screwed up. I couldn't get it fixed, so hopefully you can still manage to see what's going on. Step 1, remove the screws and remove the handles. You can also unscrew this if you want. It's not necessary, then this screw, that one, and all the ones along here. So you remove the back panel. And then you have a few tabs holding it in here. And we have the panel off. Here I'm pointing out the license plate lights wiring. You cannot remove that from there. And these are the two screws. That one. There's actually 3 screws, which I'll point out later, to remove the handle. Okay, here I have a 13/32 socket. It's kind of raised in there, so I can't put a wrench on it, so I'm going to use the socket. So they have kind of like, I guess, an old washed out washer, and that's that. So that's one. You gotta get the other one over there. Don't know how I managed to do that, but just part of what goes along with this. Okay, forgot there's that third one right there. Got to take that one off too. First I tried to use a putty knife to gently coax away the handle from the tailgate, but a lot of times 1, 2, or all 3 of the screws attached to the back of the handle hang up on the tailgate, so you'll need to take like a mallet or something, kind of help coax it out from the inside of the tailgate. Okay, took a bit of whacking on the inside of the pins to get them to break loose. I have a backup camera that's attached behind the license plate, which actually was hanging it up, keeping me from being able to pull the handle off, which I'll figure out in a second. Probably have to take the backup camera off too. Alright, so I don't know if that was recording or not, but anyway, I pulled this off. These covers come off. This is a clockwise twist to pull out, right? And this is the reason why you can't get these out from underneath, because when this is in here, it will not turn. My stupid video wasn't running when I was trying to demo this before. Anyway, this is the bulb that is in there. Very, very tiny compared to interior bulbs, which are this size. See, much fatter at the bottom. And these LEDs that I have were supposed to be for either one of those bulbs, but you can clearly see they're much too fat because this will not fit. It doesn't fit. So I don't have the bulbs I need, so I'm going to have to temporarily put this back together and come back to this later. But again, these covers come off. And again, why you can't get these out from underneath is because with the light post in place, you can't turn it. It hits the molding. So you would end up just breaking these if you tried to get it out. What should be the easy way. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and reattach the screws for these, since these were never going to come off in the first place. And I'm going to have to order or go buy some bulbs to replace these. Go ahead and show this. You can see how this runs here and then under this tab into this one. So clockwise twist. There's a counterclockwise twist on this one. Put that back in for now. So I decided that since I have to replace the bulbs and take this off, I'm going to repaint this as I restore the wagon. So I pulled off the plastic bits here. Just be careful. So once you pull that off, you can see inside here you do a little twist to change the bulb anyway. And then the wire runs down to the other one, and it tucks under right there. So just be careful with this. This is 30 years old and it can get a little brittle. To just carefully tuck this out of the way while I go and repaint this. Okay, just to show you a difference in the size, here's a regular size interior light bulb, and here are the ones for the license plate lights. They're much smaller. They are 24s. There's some GE and Wagner ones, but yeah, it's a size 24, I believe is the number. Much smaller. The original nuts that hold it to the back on the inside of the tailgate had these little rubber washer type things that are totally shot, so I'm going to see if I can't find a match with one of these washer or grommet things to replace them, so we don't get water intrusion. It looks like I have a pretty close match with these rubber washers. I think it's this one. No, it's this one. 1524 3mm. So that should do the job. 3 of those. We'll go ahead and reinsert these. They go in the right way. Let's go check to make sure they work. Alright, they work. Let's put this all back together. Now we won't be pulled over by bored cops late at night because your license plate lights are out. Last part of the video, I'll just talk a little bit about my challenges in repainting the handle, which you can see here. It's all nice and shiny again. Okay, you get the idea. I'm not going to record this. Just so you know, the wire, I tucked it around the other side, and that's where that little clip there holds it in. So that's how it goes. I'll bolt it back in. Just so you can see the washer there wants to go hang. I use a flat-bladed screwdriver to kind of push it up while I tighten down the nut. Switching out that for the smaller one, which is this one. Yeah, it fits a little better. So this is the Harbor Freight Tools kit that I used for the washer replacement. So repainting the handle took me 2 attempts. The first attempt I thought I'd be fancy. You know, I first kind of sanded and cleaned up the handle, masked it off, and thought I'd do a custom blend of paint using my airbrush. And unfortunately, it looked good at first, although closer inspection you see a lot of bumps and, I don't know, dirt or whatever that I had to wet sand down. But unfortunately, the paint did not adhere at all because it turned out I had to use a primer first, which I didn't do. So I ended up sanding it off, and even a lot more of the old paint ended up coming off with it. So once that was done, I cleaned it up again. This is what it looked like when even more of the original paint came off. And I went and got a can of, I think it was called Khaki, super high gloss paint. And first I primered it, and then I hit it with several coats of that, and then a few clear coats, UV protectant. And I did the underside as well. I did the screws, I did the clips, and then put it all back together so it looks a lot better. It's not a perfect match, but it definitely looks a lot better than it did. And left. There's a little R. And to clean it up a little bit. Put a link in the description below for the specific spray paint I used on the handle. I could have replaced these, but I painted them instead. So there we go. Now we'll go ahead and put new bulbs in, and hopefully we have license plate lights that work.